Tonight, South Australia's COVID cases rise, leading to restrictions returning. And a Spencer Gulf area named one of the highest vehicle fatality regions during Road Safety Week.
From our 7 Spencer Gulf studios, your nightly news with Ruby Kamain begins now.
Good evening. We start with some breaking news. South Australia has reimposed restrictions in a bid to get ahead of the COVID cluster in Adelaide. From midnight tonight, gyms and recreational centres in South Australia will be shut down for 2 weeks. Community sports and training will be temporarily cancelled, but outdoor fitness activities can continue. Funerals will be capped at 100, while there are no changes to weddings. Private gatherings will be restricted to 50 with no standing consumption. Cinemas will be capped at 1 person per 4 square metres, while schools will remain open. It's been advised to work from home where possible and to not undertake unnecessary travel. There have been 17 new cases in South Australia today. And we'll have comprehensive coverage of these new restrictions in tomorrow's bulletin. But in today's other news, the RAA has declared the York Mid-North as the most dangerous region for South Australian motorists, with 129 lives lost in the last decade. It comes as National Road Safety Week begins, aiming to drive down the death toll.
Our roads are getting busier and authorities have a simple message. Our road toll is too high.
That is 77 people that will not be home for Christmas. This is a message that we are sending, that we want that to stop now.
National Road Safety Week is kicking off and RAA figures show the York Mid-North is the most dangerous area in South Australia.
We've got higher speeds involved, much greater distances, and in some cases factors contribute to this such as fatigue as well.
Across our region, 67 people have been killed in the far north and 61 on the Eyre Peninsula in the last decade.
Very important that we do take this time to reflect on those people who have lost their lives.
It follows a horror few months with emergency services attending a number of crashes.
Most of the first responders that attend to these things can be friends of the victims and the people involved.
As a show of force, police are also cracking down on hoon drivers, publicly crushing cars of repeat offenders.
They were recidivist, poor road users, and for that, we are going to crush their cars today.
The RAA supports the initiative but says other measures are also needed to deter dangerous behaviour.
Looking at better driver education so that drivers are aware of the consequences of their poor actions.
And with holidays fast approaching, police will be out in force.
Think about what you're doing when you are in that car.
Lachlan Itter, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Meanwhile, police had a busy weekend with multiple drink drivers nabbed across the Spencer Gulf. 2 from Roxby Downs caught allegedly almost 3 times over the legal limit. It's alleged just after 10:30 p.m. on Friday, a 25-year-old driver returned a reading of 0.141, and on Saturday night, a 33-year-old man returned a reading of 0.158. Both received an instant loss of licence and had their vehicles impounded, set to appear in court. And a 22-year-old Risdon Park man has been fined more than $1,200 after being detected drink driving early Sunday morning in Port Pirie South. Patrols pulled over the car on Eunice Street just after 2:30, where police say the P-plate driver returned a blood alcohol reading of 0.054. Across the region in Peterborough, a 39-year-old man was arrested and charged after allegedly blowing over 4 times the legal alcohol limit and driving while disqualified. Another man from Peterborough lost his licence for 12 months. He allegedly blew 1.79. Several firearms have been seized by Whyalla police following a public tip-off last week. Authorities searched a Whyalla Playford address on Friday, finding 3 rifles, a shotgun, 4 handguns and ammunition. A 45-year-old man was arrested and charged with a raft of firearm offences. He was refused bail and appeared in the Whyalla courthouse today. Dozens of Port Lincoln residents have paid tribute at an emotional Remembrance Day commemoration over the weekend. Groups gathered for the special service at the city's Garden of Remembrance to lay wreaths at the graves of soldiers.
The last post echoing over the graves of soldiers as the young and old come together in Port Lincoln to remember the fallen.
I was quite taken with it. I thought it was a great idea.
It's the first time a service like this has been held at the city's Garden of Remembrance.
I believe it was a great success. This concept came down from Geraldton of having a pilgrimage on the Sunday after Remembrance Day. So those during the week who can't attend because it's Remembrance Day moves during the week, they can actually come on a Sunday when they can attend.
Helen Miller was one of dozens of residents who paid tribute. Her father, 2 uncles and grandfather all served in the military and are all buried here at the cemetery.
Just something that's quite different and yeah, I think they would have appreciated that it was happening.
Wearing her dad's medal around her neck to signify his service.
The medal is for the services to the CMF unit in Port Lincoln, and he was in charge of it, so it's a MBE medal, member of the British Empire.
Port Lincoln City Band helping set the mood while veterans and locals laid wreaths at the memorial.
Here it's more for those who actually have loved ones interred here, so it's a bit more personal.
There are plans for future services to be held at the cemetery.
There are young ones here as well, there are lots of youth, and it's a great thing to see them come and pay their respects.
Nathan Regter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Still to come tonight, fresh warnings emerge for parents to get their children into swimming lessons. And strong winds create dust storms across the region, impacting motorists. Welcome back. Sobering new figures have revealed more than half of Australian children do not attend swimming lessons, according to Swim Australia. The peak body says it's concerned it could lead to a spike in preventable drownings ahead of the summer season.
It's every parent's worst nightmare.
I was in the pool area with her and she was at the far end of the pool and she fell in head first.
Thankfully, Sophie's 2-year-old daughter knew basic life-saving skills.
By the time I got to her, she had popped up, turned around and was making her way to the edge of the pool.
She says if it wasn't for swimming lessons, it could have ended very differently. Around 30 children under the age of 5 drown in Australia each year.
There's not a lot of excuses for you not to get your children taught how to swim. It's very, very important.
Concerningly, more than half of Australian children don't attend swimming lessons, according to Swim Australia.
40% of our Swim Australia swim schools have reported a downturn in the number of students that are coming. But more worrying, 48% of families have said they're just not going to bother.
The peak body says it paints a troubling picture as families start to hit the beach as the weather warms up.
This has got a huge implication for water safety and drowning prevention into the future, and we're really concerned that there will be a generation of non-swimmers.
The sobering figures have prompted the Swim It Forward initiative, aiming to generate funds to assist families in affording swimming lessons.
The more people we can put through Learn to Swim, the more lives we can save.
It was such a wake-up call to see just how quickly it can happen and how silently it can happen. And if she hadn't had the swimming lessons and not known what to do, she wouldn't have done what she did. She wouldn't have been able to make it to the side.
For more information, head to the Swim Australia website. Nathan Regter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Residents across the region have been impacted by large areas of raised dust caused by strong winds yesterday. Motorists were warned to turn their headlights on and drive to the conditions, with reduced visibility on a number of roads, including the Augusta and Barrier highways. Emergency services were on high alert, attending to calls for fallen trees and a number of small fires across the York Mid-North. Wyalla's Royal Flying Doctor Support Group is continuing to do its part for the community, holding multiple fundraising events. Stressing the importance of the regional service, members are encouraging locals to dig deep and help the cause.
A Whyalla support group flying high. After a 3-month fundraising break due to coronavirus restrictions, the Royal Flying Doctors support team is back on track.
As far as funds for keeping aircraft in the sky, for actually buying the aircraft, the Flying Doctor, and particularly central operations, which covers South Australia and Northern Territory, rely on corporate sponsorship.
Marking its 12th anniversary, the group made an annual donation of $28,000. Organisers say the team's fundraising efforts have taken off, managing to raise $5,000 more than last year.
We've had our barbecues at the Cuttlefish, we've done junior football, the Football League, we've done the hardware store barbecues, we're regularly at Woolies and Viscount Slim.
Members say they are thankful for the ongoing support.
They'll put notes in the donation tin and tell you the story of why, if it wasn't for the Flying Doctor, Bubs would not be there. It really gets you here.
More information is listed on their Facebook page. Sophia Contagonis, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Stay with us after the break. The Whyalla Show Committee struggling to increase member numbers. And a renowned Port Pirie local celebrates her 100th birthday. Hello again. It may be the end for the popular Whyalla Show, with a lack of volunteers signing up to help organise the annual event. Running for almost 50 years, committee members are putting out a final call, trying to save the still city tradition.
A final plea for support. Whyalla Show organisers urging locals of the next generation to help keep this popular event alive.
Definitely encouraging as many people in the community as possible to step up and come forward. We are struggling very much to fill our committee. We have for a lot of years.
The current committee, made up of only a handful of members, says if they don't get more volunteers, they fear the worst.
There's no guarantees because we're very, very hard working out here, but we can't expect just a small number of people to keep working every year. We need up and coming help.
Organisers say the popular show brings positivity to the city and region, with the tradition reaching its 50th anniversary next year.
It is pretty rewarding to know that, you know, you're a part of something like big that's made so many people happy and, you know, just such a big event in the community.
Also saying future generations might miss out.
It'd be such a shame to not have a Whyalla Show for those generations.
Committee member and Show Society Secretary Stacey Brougham says it's a rewarding experience and a great chance to socialise with other locals.
Everyone here is like a big family. We all look out for each other. We have big meals together.
Members are holding an annual general meeting tomorrow evening at the Whyalla Showgrounds office. Sophia Contagonis, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Port Augusta's Salvation Army held its Kids Zone Club on Friday, throwing a number of fun activities for local children. Volunteers say the club gave participants a taste of what to expect over the upcoming Yelku weekend.
Recognising the need for a program just for kids. Based on the popular Kids Zone magazine, the Salvation Army has put on a free fortnightly kids club, already a hit.
It's really fun and you can enjoy it. It's very, very fun. It's really enjoyable, and every time you come you get a free Kids Zone.
With this week's theme based around recycling, kids got creative with empty milk cartons, using them for planting and playing games.
They're making a sock toss game where they can actually have fun playing, throwing a ball, catching it in their milk bottles. We've also then used the bottom of the milk bottle that we cut off to make a small little herb garden.
While adding an element of cooking, using leftover spaghetti.
We have made food, we have done stuff, we have done colouring in.
Volunteers say the next club get-together will be a special event, with a team from Adelaide expected to arrive in a fortnight's time, pending public health advice.
It's called the Yelku weekend, which means the Heart Weekend. So we're trying to do something for the whole family. So we've got a kids club. Friday night's really exciting for our youth. We've got the biggest online pizza party.
Kids recommending the club ahead of the weekend event.
Kids club is like something to do after school.
Parents are encouraged to bring their kids along on November 27.
We'd love people to come on to our weekend. You can just turn up, or you can let us know if you want more information, give us a call.
Katrina Musson, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Popular Kadina local Jean Daniel has reached a major milestone, celebrating her 100th birthday. A party was held yesterday afternoon with the grandmother surrounded by her family and friends. Jean grew up on a farm in Pascoeville before moving to Kadina, where she's become a popular identity. She still lives independently and spends her time playing cards, shopping and getting her hair done. She also still enjoys a good brandy. Stay with us after the break. Katrina Musson will bring us all the highs and lows from weekend cricket. And we'll have the weather details with Alex. Welcome back. Despite hot weather, Port Pirie cricket batted on at the weekend, with the first game of the round seeing Port Germain secure a big wicket win over Proprietary. Katrina Musson has this week's cricket wrap.
It was a scorcher weekend for cricket across the region, with Port Germain securing a big 8-wicket win over props at Memorial Oval. Proprietary batted first and would have been happy with their total of 7 for 156. In reply, Port Germain lost just 2 wickets in passing the total, finishing on 2 for 160. In the other game, Wandera defeated Southport 6 for 136. In a close match at Port Oval, it was Wandera who got the points over Southport. Southport batted first, finishing at 6 for 136 from their allotted overs. In reply, Wandera chased the total down with just 2 balls to spare, finishing on 7 for 138. Going around the region now, in Port Augusta, and Central Stirling defeated West Augusta with 9 for 184, while in the other game, Quorn held off South Augusta for an 89-run win. In Whyalla, and Central Whyalla had a comfortable win of 97 runs over Rupina. The other game between North and West Whyalla was cancelled due to temperatures forecasted to reach 43 degrees. Heading over to Port Lincoln, where the first game saw Lincoln South win over Todd River. Marley Butler took 5 wickets and made 40 runs, a good all-round game for Lincoln South. In the other game, and Charlton smashed Southern Air with 7 for 241. And the Tasmans easily accounted for waybacks, with Jaden Jude 4 for 15 starting with the ball, and Jim Stockham carrying on with the bat as he has all season. And finally across the border at Broken Hill, and Central held off South at Alma Oval to win by 1 run. And West defeated North 3 for 147. And that's all for cricket. We'll be back tomorrow night with a wrap-up of the region's other sports.
Time now to take a look at what's happening in the weather. Here's Alex.
Thanks, Ruby. We had mainly fine conditions across the region today. From 3 p.m, it got to a high of 24 in Port Augusta, reached 21 in Whyalla and 27 in Broken Hill. Looking further across the region now, Port Lincoln sunny and 22 degrees, a degree warmer in Port Pirie, a top of 23. Kadina and Cleve also both got to a top of 23. Woodness sunny and a high of 24. Mostly sunny in Clare, a max of 21 degrees. Adelaide reaching a maximum temperature of 20 degrees. The satellite shows a cloud band crossing the far northeast with a trough causing showers to ease. Skies are clearer elsewhere under a broad area of high pressure. Moving on to tomorrow's weather outlook now, and we'll start with the Gulf waters. Winds southwesterly 20 to 25 knots, seas 1 to 2 metres, and swell south to southwesterly 1 to 1.5 metres. Sunny across most of the region tomorrow. Port Lincoln 22 and sunny. Cleve similar conditions 26. Warmer again in Woodner, set to reach a maximum temperature of 31 degrees. Whyalla 26. Port Augusta set to get to a high of 31. Kadina with a top of 25 degrees. Port Pirie 28 degrees. Clare a max of 26. And Broken Hill set to get to a high of 27. Taking a look further through the week now, and partly cloudy conditions on Wednesday with temperatures warming up. 37 in Cooper Pedy and Woodner. Port Augusta will have the region's top with 38 degrees. 33 in Broken Hill and Kadina. 35 to be the max in Port Pirie, and Adelaide will have a top of 32. Mainly fine conditions again on Thursday with temperatures in the high 30s in some parts. Cooper Pedy 39, 37 set to be the tops for Port Augusta and Broken Hill, 36 degrees in Port Pirie. Woodner and Whyalla can expect maximums of 33 degrees, a bit milder in Port Lincoln with 23 degrees, and 32 to be the top in Adelaide. And those conditions are set to continue through into Friday. 38 the top for Cooper Pedy, a top of 35 in Broken Hill, 31 the max for Port Augusta, 32 in Woodner, and temperatures will cool slightly in the southern region. 27 for Kadina and Adelaide. Port Lincoln will have a maximum of 21 degrees. So some good news there to settle the Monday blues, with some fine conditions certainly on the way for this week, Ruby. That's all the weather from me tonight. It's back to you.
Great, thanks for that, Alex. And that's the local news this Monday evening. Thanks for joining us. I'll have updates later. Until then, enjoy your evening. Good night.